I was debating on clearing this, but I think I'm just going to leave it. It looks pretty good. I'm kind of running out of time because I've been procrastinating, doing other things, aka Night Rider. So I got to get this done, and I don't think I have time to clear it and go through the whole shaboy of that. So that's where we're at. So the fenders are painted, so I thought it looked kind of cool. But obviously, when you put the fenders on there, you're going to see a lot of silver. So what I'm going to do is mock these up, take a marker and just draw inside there, and then pull that off, tape this up, and I'm going to shoot that black inside just to cover that up. Do that to the other side. So everything is pretty much shot on this. Everything is sprayed. Firewall, radiator, everything's done. Just got to assemble it. So I have my frame sitting here. We did the frame in the red. Did the gas tanks in the gray. I'm putting a 4-cylinder turbo in mine. This is a little 2-liter Ford engine. Yeah, everybody else is going big block blowers, all that good stuff. I'm going little guy, just something different. So that's what we're going to do with this. I think it looks pretty cool up under the hood there. Doesn't that look good? Yes, it does. It's going to be my sleeper. Okay, so that's where we're at. We're getting this thing put together. So I got to cut this off because this engine has, I hope you guys can see that or not. See that coupler on there? That's what they use. It's like a rubber link, basically, instead of a U-joint. Pretty good detail because there's a back flange, and then this rubber flange bolts onto that yoke, and then the drive shaft bolts to that. But obviously, in this case, when I can do that, ideally, it'd be nice if I could run this flat, because it's supposed to have another kind of a yoke like this side with the 3 pieces on it. That's how this side's supposed to be to match that up correctly, but I'm not going to make anything for that. But it does have nice detail. Like I said, it's a little resin engine. And I got this from Chris from Raising Cane when I was down at the Detroit show. And you can see it has, let me get me a little pointer stick here. You can see it's got the fuel inlet and outlet, the little nibs there. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to try to run some fuel line, do a little bit of detail, not a whole lot. I'll run some spark plug wires. And that's it. I'm not going to go over the top with it. So I'm going to get some more chugging along on this, and I'll bring you guys back. And I'm going to do the trim probably in just black. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. Just black that out and all that good stuff. So mirrors, everything's black in this. So I think it should look pretty cool. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. That's where we're going. All right, so we got a little black trim done around the windows with some massive taping. So this paint here was still, I mean, it's cured, but I didn't want to put tape directly over it just because I like, you know, I didn't want to take my chances. So I get this unwrapped and we'll take a look at it and see how she turned out. Yeah, looks all right. And I did these here. I did my fenders. I did inside the fenders. Looks like we're still a little damp yet. And I just kind of did an outline of the fender here, just so when you are looking inside of it, it's not silver. So I want to give that a little bit of a black shadow or casting on the inside there. So here's the dash for this. So I got some Mod Podge in there, so it's still curing for the lens. Alright guys, so we got our chassis pretty much together here. So we're rolling pretty decent there. I'm not going over the top on this. I did last time, and just like I say, I'm running this little 2-liter engine in it, and the original engine sits here, so I'm actually going to run this in the same spot. I'm going to put this here in the same place, but I need a cross member for the back, so I'm taking some styrene strip and I'm going to make a cross member for it. So I'm going to stick that on there, take my little fine Sharpie, just kind of give a rough eyeball guesstimate here. Like so. So it's going to be a pretty generic cross member. Nothing too fancy. Just need it to fit through the frame. Kind of like so. Now I'm just going to take a couple other pieces here and just run the edge up. And we'll take some of our Tamiya thin. And we'll take these guys here and just stand them up in the end. Just give it something extra to glue against when I put it in the truck. Yeah, something like that, something quick and easy. Like I say, nothing too extravagant. So now when I set that down there, I have a little more something to glue against versus just the straight frame here. So I'm gonna let this dry for a second, and then we're gonna take it over and paint it. Well, I got my crossmember painted, so I'm just letting it cure for a minute. I just brush painted it, so I didn't paint the sides, as figures no sense it's gonna be stuck in the side here. So the other night I painted my grill, doing that in a satin black, and I used my rubber cement, just the Elmer's rubber cement, and I put a little bit on here. So I basically just wipe this off, so the stuff that comes off just super easy to take a Q-tip, and it just wipes right out of there. Leaves a nice end there for you. So I put it on here, so it's basically just wipe that off, wipe that off. I wipe this light out. So it worked pretty good. There we go. Now she's ready for her lights. Cool, cool. So I'm going to paint a little bit of clear orange on the bottom lens, the LP53. Kind of get that in some color. And like I say, the only chrome pretty much going to be on this thing is the back of the mirror and that V8 logo. That's it. Alright guys, so we're going to do a little smoke on the glass. I want to tint my windows. So the Tamiya smoke, this is LP67. This works really good for this. So I'm going to tint my back window. So I have it taped off. So you always, when you're doing this, you always want to tape the side that obviously you don't want to be tinting, because the overspray will roll across and get that. So I taped up nice. So we're doing that, and I'm doing the side windows on this truck. So as you can see, I'm just doing the edges here. So the front windshield's clear, so it's all taped down nice. And I'm also doing my headlights. So it's going to have smoked headlights. So I took a Sharpie, I went around the outside, and I'm just going to do a nice smoke over top of those lights. So I'll take you over to the paint booth, and I'll show you how to doing this here. Like I say, really love the stuff for this. It works really good. Alright, I'll mix it up a little bit. This is just going to be a 50-50 mix ratio. We're going to mix this with our Tamiya lacquer thinner. Now this stuff here, you don't want to use the Mr.Color leveling thinner. I mean, if it's all you have, it's great, but sometimes the properties just doesn't dry as good, or you won't get that real nice smoke look out of it as you will with the regular thinner, the lacquer thinner. The thinner does make a difference. And we'll take you over to the paint booth, and we'll get these painted up. Alright guys, so we're going to get this started. So, first of all, the video looks kind of goofy. It looks like it's just like repeating back and forth. I don't know what it was. The airbrush cup was just freaking out the camera, so it blurred out. So when you guys are spraying this stuff, you want to just start with light coats. I mean, when you first hit your first spray, it looks like you're just putting clear coat on. You got to remember, this is just a clear, just a tint color, basically. That's why they call it smoke. Other than that, once you do a lot of light applications, it actually sprays out really nice. Gives it just a nice smooth look, like it does have a tinted window. So like I say, I do give it just a lot of light coats, and then I'll go back and just keep hitting each piece over and over. And obviously the more you give it, the more it'll be tinted. So right here you can tell if I just wanted a light tint, say maybe like a 35% on your window, you'd leave it right here. But if you want to go more to that 10%, maybe even 5%, you just got to keep shooting it. Now I don't know if this will completely go black. I've never used it that far, I guess, but you know, it is just basically a smoke color paint, so I don't know if it'll actually blacken out or not. It'll get pretty close to it. I'm sure in time, if you keep putting enough layers on it, it will. So you got to kind of monitor your, how many patterns you put on it, how many times you spray it, and obviously it all depends on how dark you want the tint. So once again, I keep going back and forth to each piece, and as you can see, each time I go past, it gets a little darker, a little darker. You're just building the color slow. Other than that, we'll wrap it up and see how she looks. think that turned out pretty cool. So you gotta remember, this is smoke, so it's only gonna paint so dark. You know, it's not gonna turn black. So obviously we're just looking for that transparent look. That's all we're looking for. So you paint the inside of it, and you still get that nice look on the outside. And there we have it. Same as the windshield. And just like that. Nice tinted windows. Yeah, so those look pretty good. And we got our headlights. Those look pretty sharp. So those should be just enough to where you can still see the chrome on the inside. Alright guys, so plugging along on this. I had a heck of a time putting that box together. I don't know, my frame was warped really bad on this. I did some test fitting ahead of time and just, yeah, well, once I painted it, it just seemed like it just wanted to go back where it started. So did some wiring on it. Run a fuel line. Fuel line goes right into the gas tank. And stuff like that. Put a little shifter on there. Aluminum drive shaft. Put a big old fat exhaust on it. Right straight from the turbo. And that's where we're at. So other than that, getting ready to put the cab on it and finish this bad boy up. I always hear everybody talking about the gap on this thing. And yes, it does have a gap. It's pretty bad. So I dug through the J.C. Whitney catalog and I bought myself some adapters. Actually, I made these. So this is just out of strip styrene, L bracket strip, and I painted them. I cut them so they fit into the frame, and I'm going to use these for little extenders. So I use angle iron, just regular styrene, number 294. And we did some cut down, like I say, measured it out, and it worked pretty good. So we got the cab all assembled. I think it looks pretty sharp. Did everything black, and it wasn't no chrome on. The only chrome on is that V8 emblem in the center. And tinted the windows, as you seen in the video earlier. Did the Tamiya tint on that, looks pretty good. So now we're gonna get the cab put on it here. So I did my emblems in black. Alright, we'll get her together and put some wheels on her and see what she looks like here. Okay guys, those are my gap pieces I put in there that kind of shortened it up a little bit. Helped it out somewhat. So yeah, so I thought I'd show you just a final video of the build here. Turned out pretty cool, other than watching the end video from the build off. So I thought I'd show you just a little bit of assembly and the end part of it. So yeah, so again, thanks for watching guys. Check out Hobby.Models, and we will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good one.